Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The theme of Tasawwuf is Marifat. Every other knowledge comes from Marifat. It's the source of all the knowledge. It doesn't matter what do you look, where do you look in creation, what affair do you try to understand. The source of the knowledge, what illuminates that affair, is Marifat, and there is no exception. Any knowledge that denies Marifat is misguided. It means that it doesn't matter what you find, it has no benefit for you. The only thing that gives benefit to you in dealing with creation is Marifat. If you deal with creation with Marifatullah, with knowledge of Allah, and you did consequently in the manner that Allah has commanded, then you get benefit. But there is no benefit when only obscurity comes into play. Those sciences, they have been now the predominant way in which we teach our children, which is the knowledge of science, which has been presented, overpraised, over-elevated, as if it was truth itself. That has no Marifatullah, is built upon the denial of Marifatullah, has no benefit. No benefit at all. It doesn't matter what you gain or what you lose in it. Most of what you lose in it. But there is no benefit for you. There is only benefit in anything that comes from knowledge of God. So the knowledge of God is knowledge of the outward and inward. The matters of Tasawwuf are not just the matters of the inward, as if it were the condition of a slave before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not the only matter of Tasawwuf. Marifat not only reaches into the inward of the affairs, but also into the outward of the affairs. And the outward of the affairs is anything to do with Tasawwuf, the Sharia. So that Tasawwuf speaks about the Sharia is nothing but natural. Because Marifat is what gives sense, validity, and benefit to any aspect of Sharia. Now, like with knowledge of Allah, most people say, I know Allah. I know Allah because they say, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad. And that is indeed sufficient. That doesn't mean sufficient is not the end of the story. Sufficient is the minimum that you require in order to be part of us. But knowledge of Allah starts there, it doesn't end there. From there, there is a well of knowledge that carries on and carries on and carries on. So, nothing more needs to be said on the matter, except you get deeper into it. Nothing needs to be added to La ilaha illallah Muhammad RASULULLAH. There is no one dot, not one comma that needs to be added. But the knowledge that goes on and on and on, not just in the repetition of it, but in how do you relate to it. And how do you relate to it is connected to certainty. When Allah wants to benefit, He gives you certainty. And certainty is what allows you to act. Certainty is what allows you to see. Where with that knowledge you will be able to see up to here. You can go farther and farther and farther and farther. So with knowledge of Allah, you can go on and on and on and on. And the result of that is that you can act more and more and more, and you can see more and more and more. In which manner? Well, in the same manner that when you know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is clear to you that He is in charge, that you love Him totally, the love for dunya disappears. You notice that the things for which you would be caught up with, they have no interest. And much more important regarding your actual behavior, the things that you were scared of, what feared, what covered you with fear, what made you impassive, what passive, what made you to stop and to accommodate to the circumstances. All that disappears, all those fears disappear, therefore, because you have in your heart much higher knowledge, much higher fear, which is fear of Allah. All that happens. All that happens. So you go on and on and on and on. And the person who has entered into the path, the tariqah, into the walking of this, realizes immediately that he every time he learns more, he realizes there is more ahead of him that he has left behind. So this is an endless knowledge, and you carry on and carry on. So the same thing with the Sharia, with the ultimate. It's not enough to say, like, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not enough to say, I know what is haram and what is haram. I know what is halal. That's not enough. What is important is that you are capable of acting upon it. It's not sufficient to say, I know riba is haram. What is important is that you are capable of acting upon it. With that comes from certainty, but certainty of a different kind. It's not the certainty just on what that is haram. No, you know it's haram. But certainty on the fact that you have no other choice, that your command is first priority, that comes before, in the knowledge of affairs, before any other matter or concern that you may have. And putting that first, that comes from certainty. A certainty that outplays, outshines every other concern. So the logical result of this is that the person that knows about the Sharia will be at ease with the Sharia, acting with ease in the Sharia, and finding out the ways of implementing the Sharia. Why? Because what paralyzes people is to see, is the illusion that there is an obstacle before the condition and the application of the Sharia. I cannot do it because of these, and that. And those are illusions. Certainty will give you, certainty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, marifatullah, will give you the path in order to be able to act. To act means that you know exactly what to do and how to do it and how to succeed. Like when you see a glass of water in front of you, you know exactly what muscles do you need to do. You don't have to think about it, you just extend the arm and drink. You have total certainty, you don't have to calculate. Like the athlete who has prepared himself to rise the 100 meters, 110 hurdles. The hurdles. The athlete doesn't think about the champion. He just goes tan tan plum, tan 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 tan. He doesn't say, oh, now I have to put the thing here 2 centimeters a little bit higher. He will fail. He will hit the hurdle. He doesn't think. He just sees it and moves. It's the same thing. You acquire knowledge of the Sharia in the same matter. You just act upon it with ease because it is natural. It is your ways, your things to do. And where others they will find difficulties, you will find easiness. And when you look in retrospect, and when you look, oh, I was there, now I can act. Then you realize that you have advanced tariqah, and that you are closer, and that you have moved ahead. And you have moved ahead because now you can do things you couldn't do before. And now you can get people to join you in doing this thing that you could not do before. So, in that sense, Marifatullah has eliminated your Sharia, and therefore, these are the matters of tasawwuf. So, it is natural that when you sit down in the circle of tasawwuf, you will hear about the things of the inward and of the outward with the same. And these matters are treated with equal sense of importance. There is no one above the other, but both at the same time have to work simultaneously. You cannot have Sharia without Haqiqah. You cannot have Haqiqah without Sharia. I'm planning to go to Africa. We are going to change Africa. How can you change Africa? By changing our hearts, You cannot change the world, but you can change your heart. If you change your heart, everything is possible. So what we have done, we have put a big need, and we have said, we want to do this thing for you. We want to serve you, totally, and without any fear. And we will do it so totally so, that we are not scared of anything, except failing to Him. So we put our aspirations high, because we don't measure what can be done according to our means, but we measure what can be done according to His means. And before Him, the whole world is so small. The big problems are so small. The big advantages are so small. Before Him, creation doesn't stand with the same power as you would before. But in fact, you realize that there's no power in it. And before the matters of darkness, before you confront kufr, what is your strongest weapon? What is the strongest weapon against kufr? But knowledge. Isn't it true that knowledge can change what you cannot change with the sword, and you cannot change with the hands? Knowledge can change the hearts of people. Our success in Dar al-Islam is based in Sulu. It's based on knowledge. To export knowledge to the Muslim world, to tell them what Islam is, so that success can come. Knowledge as a weapon. As a weapon that defeats automatically darkness. To tell the people, to free the world, to free the Muslims. So, knowledge. To tell them. Then you move the hearts. Then success is granted. Any other attempt, it will be a failure. Knowledge is the source. You know what Africa is like? It's a land of Islam. From north to south. It's a continent of Islam. But it's just broken down into pieces. And whereas before there was a place of great mystery, now darkness has taken its place. And colonialism in several phases has still taken and robbed from our people. And the new phase of colonialism is this financial capitalism that you have today. And a continent that is totally under the hands of banks and paper money, leaving the people in misery, and they complaining why they are fighting each other. Because the resources are few, when in fact, it's the richest of all continents. There is in Africa everything that you can dream of. Especially good people. So, what do we want to do? We want to do what Allah wants. So, we are going to Zimbabwe, who is the only country in Africa who doesn't have central bank. Well, it does have central bank, but it's the only central bank that doesn't have paper money. They've lost paper. So I'm going there to establish a gold and silver currency, and to replace all paper money in Africa, so that the dollar goes and all the other paper currencies go, and to unify the country with a single currency and trading in caravans as it was before.